about this and how I feel strongly that Grayson brought these teaching. Well, it just feels like the true teachings in Christ. And I talk about this book all the time on my live show every week that I do with my cohort, Michelle. And I remember one day I was watching somebody on YouTube, Jeff Morrow, and I've been a Jesus freak since my NDE in 2001. I was raised Catholic, didn't really resonate with the Catholic teachings about what we're supposed to do, and and all the judgy stuff. And so when I had a head injury in 2001, it took me a couple years to remember him, that he met me in my NDE. And it's funny because my mother is the one that brought him to me again after she passed. And that's why I started remembering how to connect with the spirit on the other side. So she brought him to me. And so I started that relationship with him from there, and sat in meditation with him every night, and went through a lot back then, 20 years ago. But I was watching Jeff Mara podcast, and this gentleman said was on the verge of committing suicide, and he was homeless and was just downtrodden, really didn't want to be here, and he was staying with a friend, and he found a book in her library called the Yeshua Letters, which was the prelude to this book, The Way of Mastery. And he said it changed his life. So I'm like, well, anything that anybody says, talks about with Yeshua, Jesus, I'll read it. So I got it. And then I got this one too, because I saw that this was the study guide. It wasn't more than a couple days later, I believe, that we had a session, and Todd, you pick up this book and say, I just got this book. Grayson or Julie, I think you brought it to him too. Yeah. And I felt him in that transaction, or energy there, that session that we had together.
Yeah.
Feeling really proud of that.
I think it was maybe like 2 weeks after he passed, and I was really struggling, not sleeping. And I asked him before I went to bed, I go, Grayson, please show me what to do. Like, guide me, tell me what to do. Give me some guidance, because I'm lost. Like, I was crying out for help. And literally the next day, Julie said, this really helped me through the divorce. And, this might be something you might want to look at. And she sent me some of the YouTube videos. And it just like, that's what Grayson sent me. There's no question in my mind. He sent them to me, through via Julie. And it was very healing. I listened countless hours, hundreds of hours of The Way to Mastery. And I still not as often, but I was like listening to 4 hours a day for a while, because it just fed me. It just fed me, and it made such sense to me. Yeah. And it just flowed. And I felt like Grayson was in every single word and energy in The Way to Mastery. And it was very healing, and continues to be very healing for me.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff. And I sit with it every morning and read a little bit, a paragraph or two or a page or something, because I feel so much love from it. I mean, this book has the energy, the frequency of this book is through the roof.
Really?
Yeah. And so it's hard for me to get past a page, because I'm just like bawling,
That's what I do. I listen to like 30 seconds. I'm like, oh, I need to rewind. I need to listen to it again.
Right.
I quote so much of it now. One of my favorite quotes is, would you call death walking from one room into another room and knowing that you're still the same in one room to the next? There's so many great lines in that book that just resonate with me,
Right. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's everyone needs to read this. These are his true teachings.
Oh gosh, so much so. And I don't say that, about hardly anything, but same as both of you. I listened to it. I think it was on like some YouTube channel where this guy reads these books. And I just, my body lights up every time I would listen to it, and I hit rewind and hit rewind and hit rewind, just to keep feeling that and hearing that it rings of truth and such beauty. And so I don't know, what it was within me that night that said, oh, you should try this. You should try to listen to this. Grayson,
Well, I mean,
Grayson, but yeah.
yeah.
Oh, so it was during that time that you found out about it too, Julie. Okay.
I had discovered it during COVID, during my whole self-exploration, and it really helped, guys. Really
Okay.
helped.
Yeah.
Sense of peace. But I hadn't, it was just sort of there. And it just took me that day. I just said, you know what, maybe you should read this book, because I think what it was is, I don't think I would, had grown up Jewish. And so I don't know if I would have, thought that you would love that book, but then Gray was bringing you to Jesus,
Right.
really.
Right.
And so I thought, okay, you maybe want to read this book then. And that was, right after you'd asked Grayson for help.
Yeah, I find whenever I am honest, sincere, and like in direct, like quietness with him, and I ask for help, like he will show me, like that situation, he will show me what to do. Like he showed me go into the soul world. He took me there, like, in dreams, show me what I need to know right now. It's like he has that ability, to do that. Which and through you too, I mean, he's given us so much great stuff through you. That's why I love that you record all your sessions, because I've gone back and listened to them all. Because like what you said when we first came on, like the parents blame themselves, like, I mean, it's just common, so like every time I start blaming myself, I'll go back and listen to one of your sessions and to hear what Grayson says about like me and Julie and how beautiful it is and how loving it is, and it just brings, it's such a beautiful, beautiful experience to continue to listen to your sessions.
Oh, well, good. I'm so happy that I can be of service that way. And I mean, he's such an amazing presence. I didn't know him in physical life, but I sure know him in spirit. And I just feel really blessed to have him.
He was a person that when he came in the room shifted, and that could always be a good thing or a bad thing, but depending on whatever mood he was in, it was. So he was and it's a real powerful presence, and has been. And he still talks to us through music. He still brings us music, and it's so funny the way it happens. And I think it happens for all of us very similarly. We're just going about your day, maybe the radio's on or something, and then there's something within ourselves like an antenna, and I sit up and I'm like, I need to listen to this song. It's like suddenly, wait, this song has meaning, where I could have been thinking about 10 other things prior to, but I'm just like tapped on the shoulder or something makes me take notice, and I can and I listen, and I mean, it's just perfect. It's a perfect message. So we've got like all these playlists, Grayson's messages. So we can roll it back and play it whenever we want to. And I was going to do this just for your audience. How do I get it? Okay, keep talking. Find it.
Yeah, one of the songs he picked for me was "Everybody Wants to Rule the World" by Tears for Fears. And whenever I start getting into the control aspect, like I want to bring him back. If I just would have done this, if we just would have changed this, if we just would have blah, 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 they call it "let's make a deal" kind of in therapy, right? Like, and then all of a sudden I'll hear that song and I'll just laugh and I'm like, okay, great, I get it. Stop.
Right.
And this is Grayson, just for, I don't know if you're.
Oh yeah. Oh
This
wow.
is how, I mean.
There's that smile. I recognize that smile.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Little free spirit.
He had a big smile,
Yeah.
just a big light up the room.
I mean, I love this one. This one's got some sort of like kind of vintage quality to it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not cutting his girlfriend out. That's really how the picture is. Haley, but Yeah, beautiful boy. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Um, yeah,
Totally. You know, I just wanted to say real quick what you were talking about with Grayson asking for help on the other side. I've heard that before, and I think it's important that people maybe understand that. I mean, that's one thing we all do. We all have to die sometime, right? And I believe that in Western society, we're not taught basically how to die. So since we live in and what I've learned and from spirit too, is we live in a free will universe, galaxy, whatever we want to call it, realm, that sometimes we do have to, or it doesn't hurt to ask for help when we're there if we feel lost after we transition. You know, it's maybe not everyone, but especially I've learned that what we go through at our transition, what we're dealing with in our mind and whatever the situation it is, carries with us, like you were talking about. It carries with us. So I think it's important for us to remember that, because and help people also that when we're sitting with someone who's dying, like a parent or something like that, or a grandparent or someone we know, and help them move across. I think that's really important to help each other remember how to die and have those thoughts in our head.
so right,
Mhm.
so right.
Yeah.
I've known people that have went and worked at hospice.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted that experience to help those folks, transition. And after a while, a lot of my friends just said it's such a beautiful experience to help them. Some of them are like, fighting it, but the ones that let it go and accept it, they said it's like they have this unbelievable peace as they transition, or right before they transition, to where it's like they're already experienced the spirit, they're experiencing their spirit side of them before they even transition.
Right.
It's just pure bliss of love and like peace and joy, that overtakes them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I I kind of agree. I mean, I do agree with you, Julie. It's being born. We're being born. I mean, there are cultures, you may not already know this, that they consider what we call dying as being born, and being born here, they consider that a death, because we're actually moving into the lower frequencies. So we could consider that kind of a death, I guess you could say, or just moving into the lower frequencies. And then when we go back home, that could be a birth. That could be considered a birth. So they celebrate,
Yes,
indigenous cultures celebrate the transition home and have a ceremony or a ritual of kind of mourning when we come back here in that reincarnation cycle.
Mhm.
And I don't know about people that are watching, or I don't know if I want to come back into this realm too many more times, if at all. So I'll be happy with
right.
existing in the higher realms.
From this perspective, we can't imagine why we come, this is my last time.
Right.
Over there, and you can see so clearly what's the deeper meaning of what's actually happening here in life.
Right.
A lot of us are looking at the surface
Mhm.
dramas of what's going on, and it's absolute chaos if you just are looking at that. But if you look at the emotions that ride underneath the experiences of our personal lives and mass consciousness, you can see a sort of like coherence, of what's happening. People are expressing the same thing just differently. And not that still feels great, but at least doesn't look so chaotic. I
Mhm.
think, if you're just watching the news or whatever, and you're seeing all this random stuff happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally feel it's all this chaos that's going on now is moving us up into the higher frequencies. And that has to happen. It's like a detox. Humanity's going through a quickening, a detox type of thing. And so all this has to happen. We're being bombarded with so much light. And thanks to Grayson. And we're being bombarded like crazy. And so everything that's been hidden is coming to the surface. personally, on a personal level, on a, community level, family, community, and so forth. And so it's all coming to the surface because we're being bombarded and filled with so much light that what's been hidden for so long is being cleansed, is coming to the surface to be cleansed.
Mhm.
That's how I understand it. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
amazing times.
It is to be in a body, and hard times. Grayson talks a lot in people's sessions. I've kind of recorded them, and I really want to print them because he has such
Yes.
beautiful things. But he talks about why it's so hard to be in a body. And I don't want to start paraphrasing it because the way he puts it is really beautiful, but he talks
Mhm.
about the difficulties of being in a body in this time space.
And a lot of it's because of technology advancement, social media, the screens,
Yes.
persons, the judgment, all that stuff.
The disconnection to nature,
Yeah.
Yes.
the natural world, not feeling part of the natural world.
Mhm.
That's
much.
huge.
That point, he always felt alive is when he was, in nature, when he was
Mhm.
at the ocean or snowboarding or cliff jumping or jumping out of an airplane. Like that's where he came alive, is when he was in nature, scuba diving. Like he just loved the nature. He loved the earth, and
Yeah.
wasn't as comfortable in the technology side of it, and
Mhm.
but just his true self came out in the free nature of
He felt at peace.
peace. Yeah.
Right.
It's funny. You
That's
said
true.
snowboarding. Sometimes when I see him in dreams or meditations, he's doing an activity. Like he's diving down the ocean. And one time I saw him come through a turnstile, like at a ski resort, and he had a snowboard in his arm. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I mean, I wouldn't think of that. You know what I mean? I'm not coming up
see
and
him
like, I
surfing
wonder if
a lot.
I wonder what he's doing right now. No, he just like shows up and someone like, "Hey, mom, what's going on?"
Oh, so funny.
I see him surfing a lot. Actually, surfs with Jesus, and I comes that way, but I see them surfing together.
You need a t-shirt that says I surf with Jesus.
T-shirt, the Jesus surfing T-shirt, or Alex did.
Alex did.
You know what I'm talking about, the blue one.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have a T-shirt that has Jesus surfing on it.
Oh, gosh, that's so funny. So that must be from him.
Yeah, Alex got one.
He showed me a t-shirt with Jesus surfing on it, him right next to Jesus surfing.
Right.
That's
See
so
that
funny.
vision all the time.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And we're going to Kauai, which is one of his favorite places on earth. And he just loved exploring the island of Kauai and riding the waves and hiking, and and so we're going with Bond and Haley and Julie and I and our significant others, and we're going to spend a week there with Grayson.
Nice.
Kauai.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it was really, one of the other funny things is, okay, and this might help families who
Yes.
have, lost loved ones like this. We would kind of get together and we would get together afterwards, and I don't think we knew how to include Gray. Like, we wanted to be sensitive to everyone's place within their grief, and we didn't know how to, just bring him in and be sensitive. And so I was in this one experience with him, and I said, "Great, how can we bring you in? How can we make you feel more of our everyday life?" And he's like, "Toast to me, cheers to me. Whenever you're around, whenever you get together, say cheers." And so I thought that was a really great idea. That was it was
And
coming.
by the way, if you knew Grayson, like, you would know that he loved when he was in body, always cheering.
Cheering.
But I didn't, I wasn't going out with him that much that was a known thing. But his girlfriend and Bond were like, "Oh my God, he cheers us 10 times, in a minute." Constantly cheersing. So it's really funny. That's what we do now. Whenever we get together, we get a drink in our hand and we toast him and get in here, come on down, and join us. And then we say goodnight to him, as we're heading out the door.
Nice. I love that. I love that he does that because I do the same thing when I'm out with friends. I'm the one who always does toasting, you know, okay, cheers, toast to good friends, to whatever. Yeah. So I love
Celebration.
that he does that. Yeah. I think it's in our DNA and our ancestry, because back in the day we always did that, you know, the Vikings and the, you know, all the ancient cultures toasted
Yeah.
too. Yeah. We got away from that.
Celebrating life.
Love
Yeah.
cheersing, toasting, and you just always wanted to celebrate.
Nice. Yeah.
Keep celebrating me, keep celebrating life.
Mm-hmm.
He's constantly telling me, you know, live your life, Dad. Like, I'm like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to? He's like, I just keep hearing him like, you know, enjoy life, get out into nature, enjoy life. Don't stress, don't worry, don't, you know, his
Right.
words to me are forgiveness, love, and kindness. That's like, I'm getting that tattooed on me. Because
Nice.
he's telling me that, Dad, forgiveness, love, and kindness. And if you do that, you'll be free of your, you know, yourself and others. Just love, be kind, and just forgive everybody. And like, you won't be shackled with pain and,
Yeah.
you know, yourself.
That's
So-
beautiful.
He is clearly helping us live
Mhm.
life.
To fuller,
Mhm.
more
Fuller.
fully.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's so true. If we all just practice those teachings or those remembrances, we wouldn't have anything that we need to worry about in life. We wouldn't have well, I shouldn't say problems, but the stuff we're dealing with around the world.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And I kind of envy the spirit world, having two near-death experiences. I'm like, okay, well, here I kind of think of this as a job, right? I'm here on a mission, and so when I'm finished with this mission, like we all are, then I get to go home again. Well, we're going home when I leave this body. But I lost my train of thought. I interrupted myself. so yeah, it's I mean, it's all about that, isn't it? And so in the spirit world, here it is, we get to look at our lives here from that 10,000, 40,000 foot view and see things so much differently.
Yeah, like, you know, Grayson says, you'll be here tomorrow for me. You'll be here in a blink. Your life is so fast. You'll be here in a blink. Whenever I kind of get bogged down with the weightiness of life, I think about that. This is
Mhm.
I'll be with
Right.
him, you know, I'll be home like that. Or part of me is already there. Part of me is
Right.
always, you know, and enjoy it while I can here.
Exactly.
Soak
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
What's that?
soak up the sun.
Soak up the sun. Yes. Have fun. And I've heard that from my guidance. And what should I do for the day? You know, what's your message for me today? Have fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's easy. Okay, I can do that. I think we kind of take ourselves too seriously sometimes.
Yeah, whenever I connect with the spirit world, they're fun. They're light.
Yeah.
It's not serious. It's not church
Right.
way. It's almost like
Right.
everything's all right.
Yeah, they're teasing each other, they're making jokes.
Mhm.
Right.
Everything's right. Relax.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, we get bogged down, that's for sure. And that's what healing's all about. So I'm sure Grayson is working with tons of people.
Mhm.
Tons of people. He's at that level. And I know you feel it. I feel it too. He's at that level where he's working with a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's going to continue to as
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's my pact with him. He keeps telling me, whenever you start feeling sorry for yourself or you start getting sad, or he goes, just keep helping other people. Keep helping other people. He goes, because that's what I'm doing here. So you know, I'm helping people in spirit world and that are still on earth, still in human. And he goes, I want you to help people that are struggling.
I've got goosebumps up and down. It's, you know, that's if we all just remembered that, what a better place.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Yeah, go ahead, Julie.
I was just saying it's nice to have those reminders though. you know?
It is, because we do get bogged down every once in a while. Right, yeah. I think it helps me anyway to see this as a movie. We're just playing our role in the movie. And I'm going to try to play my role as much as the best I can by spreading and being who we really are, which is love and light. And,
Oh, I got something, Greg, give me a
Yes.
phrase to say. You know, with all these things shifting and going on in the world, he's like, just say, let's see what happens. So anytime I see something, you know, maybe that I would have judged or whatever, or anything's coming up, let's see what happens. And it's really freeing. I love that he gave that to me. It's like, it unburdens me. Let's see what happens.
yeah, I like that, because then we don't get so attached to an outcome.
Yeah.
And that causes pain for sure.
Yeah.
Being attached to a certain outcome.
Try it out.
And
Mhm.
sometimes the outcome that we didn't want turns out to be a really good outcome. So
Sure.
might have judged what is going to be good for me. Not good.
Right. So I know that both of you have their own podcasts.
Mhm.
Would you mind sharing a little bit about those?
Yeah, my podcast is called The Laundry List. And the tagline is a podcast about relationships. So it's all about relationships. It could be a romantic relationship. It could be your relationship with your parents, relationship with your friends, with your boss, with employees, friends, anybody, ex, partners, and how to have healthier, more meaningful relationships with better communication skills.
Nice.
And
We all
we're in
need that.
episode 31. Julie's been on.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to have her on again here soon, but she came on, and Grayson's been on plenty of times. But yeah, it's a podcast that it's getting. I started it as a reflection of some of the work I've done over the last 3, 4, 5 years.
Mhm.
I just felt like I wanted to share it with the world, because I've gotten so much out of the work I've done about trying to find who I really am. Who is Todd? And I'm just starting to discover at 55 who Todd really is, and there's a lot of joy in that.
Nice. Nice.
And
I love that.
mine is called Psychedelic Journeys Podcast. And it's just getting started. It's not out yet. We just recorded our first session, which is me telling my story with psychedelics and the whole trajectory of where it began and how it helped me, and help me through the experience of Grayson and
Mhm.
him. And so, yeah, that's coming out pretty soon. In a couple of weeks, the first episode will be out. So Psychedelic podcast.
Beautiful.
And it's on Spotify, Apple,
Okay.
you wherever,
All of them, yeah.
yeah, wherever you can
Yeah.
find your podcast.
Yeah, and
Okay.
people will be coming on and sharing their story. So that's really what it's about. It's about just demystifying the experience.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I love that. I've had some intense experiences with psychedelics on journeys. And I mean, I did it when I was younger just for partying, just to party. But the journeys were pretty intense.
Yeah, set and setting is important. So that's mindset, what your intention is with it, and then the setting, peaceful.
Right. Yeah, it makes a big difference. I was with shamans. So, and also I had an intention to do a ayahuasca journey, but I haven't done ayahuasca, and not long it was almost immediately, a couple of days later, after I made that intention, I had a journey with the Great Mother, and I've heard that the ayahuasca is considered the mother energy. And so I had a journey in meditation with the Great Mother that was super profound for me. So I was like, okay, I don't need to do the medicine now. She was here.
Yeah, she made a house call.
Mhm. Yeah. Right. I didn't have to go to Peru or anything like that. So,
Great, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So powerful stuff. Definitely. Good for you.
For having us on.
Yeah.
Sharon,
Is
you so incredible in our lives and so healing and eye-opening for us. So we really appreciate it. We're very grateful.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I honor and really enjoy your friendship and Grayson, the gift of your son. Thank you. Thank you in my world, in my life. And I see how, oh, I'm going to cry, how amazing you people are. The both of you and your whole family is just so amazing. And you have so many, so much to share with the world, so much love to share and wisdom. Thank you so much. Yeah. And do you have any last words of wisdom you'd like to
Have an open
share?
heart and an open mind, and you never know what's going to come your way. But trust the spirit world. It is real. It makes everything worth living for.
Trust what you get.
Trust what you
Trust
get.
what you get.
Let's-
Trust what you receive. That
Let's
is
see what
really important.
happens.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you. And thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for being here. And of course, do your YouTube thing, please. Subscribe, like, all those things to help with the algorithms. And we will see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Sharon.